I think you're able to see the screen now. Um, so so let's quickly start with a quick introductions about who's going to speak up in this meeting. So I am Nagendra myself, and I'm joined with my wife Shranti. We live in block number 3101, and we have a son Aryan whose age is he's just turned 8. He's going to the elementary school of the Blue Blocks Montessori School, and that's about a little bit about us. And I'll ask Hita's parents to quickly introduce before we move on to Pawan. Um, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Z, and this is Divya. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we
Yeah.
can.
So I'm Z, and she's Divya. This is Hita, and we have another son. He's Harit. Both of them are in Blue Blocks. They're in Montessori. So yeah, that's pretty. We stay in Vihanga here in Block 2. Um, yeah, both of them have been with Blue Blocks for almost 4 years now.
Okay. Pawan, would you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Pavan Goel, founder of Blue Blocks, father of two girls. They are 8 and 15-year-old. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay. All right. So this is a very quick agenda that we have today. What we'll be quickly only doing today is to give you an experience from the parents' perspective of our children going through the Montessori principles and how and what we've been observing. This will certainly help you to make the right choice for your children as well, and that's the only motivation that's coming out of coming parents coming together and trying to conduct this. So we will have we will be talking about the early years in Montessori. We'll be talking a few things around how children have been doing in the Blue Block Montessori School, and then we'll also give it out to Pawan, who is the founder of Blue Blocks. He'll be more getting in details about some of the child psychology and other things that we'll be listening from him. And we'll also give you some information about ourselves, so you can reach out to us at a later point of time if you have any questions. So moving on, this is a very early on in the early years, even before we decided to go to Montessori, or we want to go to a Blue Blocks Montessori school. We had so can we mute others, please? Okay, thanks. So, me and my wife had a lot of, thinking around which school is good, what kind of things, what kind of system of education there should we go. Are there better things, because we've all been through a traditional schooling system? Is it still good even today, or are there things better than that? What we found, and when I did a lot of research around, is I came through Dr. Montessori philosophy, which I believed is going to be really fit for my child, at least what I wanted from my child when he grows up. And what we did very early on is, even before we selected a school for him, we introduced, adopted a lot of Montessori philosophy and Montessori principles at home as well. Some of these pictures that you see on the screen, like for example, he had his own, table, the dining table for himself, which is child size, which obviously at that age he could not even climb any small chair. We were able to find a place where he could sit and eat by himself. This was a dedicated table for himself, and he would just simply come and sit there when he's hungry. And that way, we understood that he was hungry basically, because he was not even able to speak at that age when he was eating by himself at that point of time. But again, it takes time. But this is one thing that we adopted. On the right side of the picture, you can see we have again breakfast.
You haven't shared the screen. We can't see any.
I thought I already shared the screen.
Uh, You removed it after that, I guess. Z, you can't see the screen, right?
No, Pawan. I'm not able to see.
Okay, I'm very, very sorry for that.
No problem.
So can you see it now?
Yeah, we can see the desktop. Yes, we got the.
Okay, can you see the pictures now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So where was I? So I was on the the right side of the picture. The left side is what I was talking about, the child-sized dining table that we were able to adapt it. The right side of the picture shows a Montessori desk that we've, made it with the help of our carpenter, so he could be able to reach the all these mini activities that he was able to get through. At that age, he was able to only crawl. We arranged things where he could easily reach at his home. We have helped him with his room with a floor bed where he could crawl in and out of the bed as well. So we did a few things at home, which actually helped him, a lot of things during the early years as well. But the real transformation occurs when we finally selected a school that he could go into and continue his journey as a Montessori. And that's where we took a choice to move him into a Blue Blocks Montessori school. Um, Here is a quick video that my wife will go through, and I'll let me switch off the music from here.
Yeah. Hello everyone, I'm Shravanti and I'm mother of Aryan who is 8-year-old, and I'm very proud today seeing him grown up something in a good way, which is always supportive of school as well as the self discipline at home as well. So since he is small, he's very independent to do his own activities, like small things like winding up his stuff when he plays around with 4 blocks or like a small toy. So he always keeps winding up things, and then he always wants to wear his things on his own. He want to buckle his shirts. He want to be independent and clean up his is like main motive till today. It drives him so much. He will make sure the friends wind up things and then go out of the house. So which is really really good. Whatever mess they make it, and then we are the parents who will be doing it right after them. So that should not be the case. So they should be independent on their own room and their activities as well. And the small activities which we keep introducing at home, like mirror cleaning and whatever the spillage happen after food, so he winds up things and cleans with the wet wipe, and then he makes the table clean always. So he takes helps from the adults as well. So, but sometimes he's very particular in doing things right there. So I always make him introduce, keeping him engaged when I'm cooking as well. So he'll be around me and over the kitchen, and then he wants me to sit with him for pounding and chana pounding and a small cheese grating, and then he makes his own sandwich out of it and spreading the butter for it. So there are a lot of things which I used to keep engaging him, apart from the television or the gadgets which we usually do. So he is very much out of it. So there are a lot of things which he was very much independent. Like nowadays, if you see, washing hands are like a thumb rule for all of them. So which he is very much independent, I can say in that. So there are a lot of things like that, and also keeping that in mind, where we were looking something school which supports the same as well at the school level. So then we got through Blue Blocks, and then when he was 1.8-year-old, he was very young. He was very young, I can say. And then he went to Blue Blocks, and we were really happy to see him there because the settlement gone very smoothly, and he was very happy child. Always go to Blue Blocks and have his time there. So everything there, it is connected with the self-caring, and it is always being him independent. So there's nothing that there's teaching process happening or stuff like that. So he always used to enjoy his time over there for 2 hours where he used to go there. He used to enjoy there. And after that, he was very independent, I can say, and the choose of things what he does for whether it's playtime or whether he want to do write-ups or he want to do some math. So we never used to force him like, no, yesterday you did math and today you have to do English, so we should cover up everything. So nothing like that. So he's very independent. As I can say that he finished his math books, but the English is not done even a page till today. So I'm okay with it. So there's nothing to do with finishing both of it at the same time. I'm happy to give him another math book than rather doing the old English book. So he is that kind of a happy child, and we're really happy to see him grown up today in a third grade as a Montessori elementary child. So that is what I can say. Over to you, Hita's, Divya and Z. You can share about Hita a little.
Yeah, sure. Excellent, Nagendra and Shravanti. Yeah, Hita's was completely a diametrically opposite, upbringing in the initial days. So what happened was we used to stay in the US for a long time, and when Hita was born, we made a decision that we wanted to come back to India. So during that transition, and then soon after my son was born, and a lot of confusion between whether we should have to stay in Bangalore or in Hyderabad, and all these things, right? Really took a toll on her, and then she could not really. I mean, school was definitely not in her priority. I mean, she used to really be scared to even be without us for even like a minute or so. So it was very difficult in those days, but. Then when the time came that we had to put her in a school, and then the decision was we were trying few things, and then we put her in multiple schools in Bangalore and Hyderabad also. Then I researched a little bit, and then we had to know about various things that's happening in the educational field. And then when I learned about this Montessori kind of education, and then I spoke to my the father and my uncle. And both of them, I mean, they really liked this whole philosophy. And then we discussed a lot, and then we started sending her to to Blue Blocks. And then what happened was slowly we started creating this environment in the house as well. Then having her independence. Buying ETL books, and then giving them access to all the things in the house, and then making them more and more independent than us. So the checkpoint for us happened actually about 6 to 8 months down the lane, uh, when it was a sudden change started to happen, when Hita was actually more willing to go to the school rather than being in the house. So that was a good checkpoint for us to really understand that she started feeling more comfortable, and mostly because of the fact that she has the freedom to see what she wants to do, what interests her, and what really to stoke her passions basically. And then that kind of helped us to motivate us even further, to give her more independence. And now she's all by her own, and even my son is going to the same school, and we imparted these learnings on him. So they turned out to be pretty happy children. And now the good thing about them is that they make up their own games now. I mean, like the way they learn math is very different. They started playing games with math, like whenever we drive around, they both come up with some kind of a competition, like I'll tell you an addition problem or a multiplication, and then they innovate in between them. So and then all of a sudden they wanted to learning numbers backwards rather than 1 to 100. And then they invent their own games, and they start playing along with them, and then we just let them do it. So I mean, I'm just happy that they're able to both learn, and then they're fine with whatever.
I would like to share.
First of all, I think I should thank Pawan. I can see, I see that that's because like the more you take care of children, I've seen that you take care of parents as well. That's really a good thing. I could see a lot of change in us because as a new parents, we didn't know how to upbring the children. So the workshops you conducted, I think really helped us like to be a really nice like how like without gadgets, how to encourage the children, how to like make them independent and all. I think we really learned a lot of things from you. That's really helpful. And from Hita, everybody, I think, like both the children's, like everybody were asking her, are you sure this is the right school for your children? Because they're like 4.5. I used to not like to write and all. She was always like listen, play. So I used to ask teachers, are you sure Hita is listening? They used to tell me it's okay. Some children are like that. They don't really show up quickly. It takes time. But now, like she's 6, like you tell her, I think you can name any spelling. I think she's very confident to write. She doesn't hesitate. She doesn't ask, do you think is the right spelling? She's very confident. She's like, okay, I can try. So I think the children like develop with great confidence. By this age, like Pawan used to tell 0 to 6 is like very crucial. I was like, seriously, now we can understand. Like now they're 6, one is 6 and other is 4. They're like completely independent. We need not take care of a small thing also. They eat by themselves, they bath by themselves, study also. There's like we both will work together. That's okay. You can take your time. I think, yeah, that's really a good thing. I can see a lot of change in our children, like bringing them so independent and all. Yeah. So thank you so much, Pawan.
Brilliant. That really means a lot from for what you have shared. And if like children like to go to school rather than wanting to stay at home, speaks everything, right? Yeah. And I'm sure whatever result you have been seeing, Divya, is also the result of the kind of work you have done at home. So you're giving all due credit to the school, but I'm sure each one of you played equal role at home as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So before we hand it over to you, Pawan, for even longer, discussing on your thoughts, I just have one more slide. The earlier video that you guys have seen is Aryan, who was about 2 year old. Now today, this is where he is. He's 8 years, and this was one of this happened during the lockdown, the current lockdown time, where he used to always go to a drone research innovation center, which is part of the Blue Blocks school. But during the pandemic time, that didn't stop them innovating without a lab. So the children had formed into multiple groups and had breakout sessions, and they had their own innovation around how drones can be used during a pandemic situation. Somebody was talking about delivering food. Somebody was talking about sanitizing. Somebody was talking about checking temperature of a person to verify whether the person is in fact had any coronavirus or things like that. And Aryan and his group had slightly different idea. They went into a war zone, and they created a drone that could actually fly without the people. They want to have machine guns attached to the drones, and then Aryan built a backup drone which could deliver the ammunition when the main drone loses its ammunition. Now they had this crazy ideas which we never stopped them at any point and say, oh, look, what is feasible, what is not feasible in terms of design anything. So they went ahead, did a couple of 3D design, 2D designs, and Aryan used some of his home material, Legos, KNX, and whatever he had, he built a small innovative prototype that I'm just gonna play this video that he's gonna talk about.
Start.
My name is Aryan. I made a bullet giver drone. My age is 7. So I'll explain you the parts. So these are the propellers. This is the antenna. It receives signal from Hasid's drone. This is the place where we store bullets. There are different sections where there are bullets. Now whenever the Hasid's drone or Akshat's drone run out of ammunition, they will send a pack kind of. It'll attach to this place, and the bullets from what I have, they'll give the number how many bullets they need. I'll give it to that. I can send the signal to them and they can carry that out. Thank you.
All right, so that's what it is. And now I'll give it over to Pawan for the thoughts
Start.
on this.
Thank you. Thanks, Nagendra, for sharing that. All right. So, I'm pretty overwhelmed with what Z and Divya have shared and what Nagendra and Shravanti has shared. Can we do this top screen share?
Yeah, I'm doing that.
All right. So there are various aspects I can talk about, but since we have around 8-9 of the parents from My Home Vihanga who are here to know more about the school or know more about the Montessori system, let us address what you would like us to address. If you would want me to talk about, I can talk about parenting, I can talk about discipline, I can talk about brain development, I can talk about the Montessori pedagogy. So let's see what is it that you would like to hear from us today, either from the parents of Blue Blocks or from me as a founder of Blue Block School. So do any of you have any questions, or do you want us to address anything specific which will really help you? We can spend half an hour more addressing your questions, or if you want us to address anything specific about this pedagogy or school. So do any of you have any questions?
Hi, this is Reema.
Yeah.
I'm a parent, like I'm a very new parent, and my daughter is just 10 months old now. And during this pandemic, it has more been like, usually in India, what happens is we have a help all around us when our child is born. And in our case, it has been so during the initial months. But now, when I have gone back to work and also my husband is working, it's like both of us are trying to manage our child along with the office work, which actually shouldn't be hampered at the same time. So initial days it was fine because my daughter, she has just completed 6 months and we had started the solids for her, so it was not much of a problem. But now, given the as soon as the teeth etc. started, the crankiness with all the eating habits etc. has been quite overwhelming for us. And managing has become little difficult. So I would like to understand from you or the parents here who have a lot of experience in this, like how were you able to actually manage with the starting with the eating habits, later on making them understand that they have to start start getting independent slowly, and trying to manage other stuff as well. I mean, now my daughter, she is trying to walk on her own without any support. So at this time it gets even more we have to be very careful. We just can't leave them anywhere. So how were they able to tell them what to do, what not to do, making them understand? So that is my concern at the moment.
Yeah, I can totally get your world, Rima. Having a 10-month-old child at home with full-time working and trying to manage things, I can understand how challenging this whole situation can be. So I can go ahead and then I'll go ahead and then any of our parents want to share, they can share their experience. See now, what I'm very happy, Rima, is that you're getting to talk to us while your child is just 10 months old. Can I know your child's name meanwhile?
Yeah, her name is Dhriti.
Dhriti. Right.
Yeah.
The best part is you're getting to hear from us when Dhriti is 10 months old. The earlier you start with this pedagogy, the better it is. And I'm glad that you could identify how she eating independently will be one of the most important things between now and till she is 4 to 5 year old. Because if you don't do this food independence very right, you might end up spending anywhere between 2 to 4 hours every day just trying to feed her, correct? But on the other hand, if we support this independence of eating all by herself, then A, you can save a lot of time and energy, and B, that is what children like to do. Children like to eat all by themselves. I'm sure you would have already seen whenever you are trying with solids, have you seen how Dhriti would want to hold that spoon and trying to put all by herself? Now
Oh, yeah, that's right.
she's already showing the signs of independence. So today I will not share my experience as a founder of school, but let me share my experience as a father. So before my younger one was born, who's 8 year old now, I had completed my Montessori 0 to 3 training as well. And the food and independence was a very significant part of the whole training. So when my daughter was around 7, 8 months, when we started to give semi-solids, I was there at home and I told my wife this part I would like to support in her independence. So right from the first spoon, which gave her, we gave her a small spoon to herself, and with the little larger spoon, I was trying to feed, and with her own spoon, she was trying to do whatever she could in the beginning. And right from third, fourth day, she was able to put something in her mouth. Now, when we do this very early, there would be chaos all over, right? And that was totally fine for us because the whole idea was to help her become independent. Now, in this process, when we started with letting her put her own spoon in her mouth, by the time she was 10 months old, we were having a similar table and chair which Nagendra had showed in the beginning of the presentation, where she could sit all by herself on her own chair and table, and we would offer things like idli and a lot of other things, put it in small pieces where she would put all by herself in her own mouth. By the time she was 11 months, she was eating things like dalia and a lot of things all by herself, and 80% of food she was able to eat all by herself, and we were only supporting 20%. And I still remember when she was exactly 11 and a half months old, one day after eating dalia with her hand, she looked at me and she did this sign. I was shocked. I said, where on the earth did she learn this sign? Then I realized that every time after she was done, I would say, let's wash your hands. And this sign was associated for her as completion of her food. So when she completed her food, she did this sign to me. At 11 and a half months, she clearly knew how much she wanted to eat. And since then, she's been eating all by herself, and she had this amazing sense of how much she really wants. When she was around 3 and a half, 4 year old, I remember she took a big bowl in her hand and she was serving murmura, what you call rice puffs. She was
Yeah.
serving all by herself. And after she served few scoops, she looked at that bowl for a couple of seconds and then she removed some, like as if she exactly knew how much quantity she wanted. And then she would complete that. Whenever we go out to any party, we never have to look at her plate. She would exactly take what she wants, how much she wants, and she would totally finish whatever she takes. So when we start letting them eat all by themselves very early on, this can develop A, independence, and B, when they're touching food, that ignites saliva and they love to eat all by themselves. And in that process, there is hand and mouth coordination happening. There is sensorial stimulation, which is also happening at the same time. So we strongly recommend that eating time should be purely eating time, and we do not want to play any YouTube or tell stories or sing or deviate or show something. When they are eating, they should look at the food. They should know what they are eating. They should know how they are eating. They should know how much they are eating. So I hope,
Okay, got
does
it.
that help
Yeah, yeah.
you?
Yes, my only concern here, what happens is, what I feel is sometimes, like if I start with this baby-led weaning, right?
Mhm.
What I sometimes feel is maybe she wouldn't be eating as much she should actually have. Like as a parent, how much maybe we should give, right? And maybe she would not be able to meet her milestones correctly. Until the age of 1 would be reaching the triple the weight, the birth weight or something, which is always a concern when we go to the doctor for vaccination, right? So that is one of the concerns. Apart from
Right.
that, making a chaotic house that we have to handle, that is a different situation, but only the developmental mind.
Right. So see now, how do you know how much she really needs to eat? It is the child who will decide, isn't it? And children, I'm telling you, have this innate sense of understanding of how much they really need it. The more we try to decide, the more and more we create aversion. The moment children don't want to eat and we start becoming creative to feed, that is when they start losing interest in eating.
Okay, got it.
Great. Thank you so much for asking that question.
Thank you. Thanks to you.
Thank you. All right. Anybody else?
Hi, Pawan. This is Divya. I also stay in Vihanga. I have a 15-month-old. So while I would like him to start early, given the COVID situation, I don't think the school's probably starting anytime soon. So if we were to consider, getting him started, and we've been doing, I wouldn't say really Montessori, but I've been reading a lot about it, and we've been trying to make him independent with the foods. It's still a learning curve. He's still throwing food all over the house, but that's okay. But if you were to consider Blue Blocks and consider get him started on this journey, what do you think would be the right time frame to look at? Because he's 15 months right now.
So that's a very interesting question. Considering these times, when do we really start? So as part of our toddler program, we take children as soon as they are comfortable being able to walk without any support. But knowing the pandemic time, we have come up with a very interesting program called Parent Connect program. So what we do as part of this program is, every month you get 2 dedicated sessions based on your child's age group. We have one of our lead parent coordinator, Nidhi Bora, who would ongoingly support you with all kinds of developments which you can support, be it language development, motor coordination, their ability to focus, concentrate. Toilet training is very integral part of this program, both for a 10-month-old and 1.5-year-old. This is the right time to start helping them with the toilet training, and that parent current program will help you understand what are the various developments which are happening right now and what exactly can you do at home. So I would
Okay.
recommend you should consider this. So we have Nidhi on this call. I'm also sharing our parent coordinator number, Sheetal's number, on this chat. So feel free to reach out to Sheetal, who will help you with processing into the Parent Connect program.
Okay.
And I've also shared the YouTube link of our channel, wherein we have done sessions on various topics, including food, discipline, toilet training, to sibling rivalry, to any topic which you can think of. We would have done a session which is posted on our YouTube channel as well.
Okay, great. Sure.
Thanks, Divya, for asking that.
Thank you. Thanks, Pawan.
All right. All right. What else?
Hi, Pawan. This is Divya. I think we have many Divyas in the call today. Yeah. So I am a parent of Akshaya. She is 3 years, 9 months old, almost 4. Yeah, so at the early age of school, I think we have joined her only in January, and then the pandemic has come in March. So we did join her in a preschool. We didn't stay in Bihanga. We only recently came to my home, Bihanga, like a 1 month back. But previously, in our previous area, we did join her in a regular school, wherein they initially started the schooling along with the kids. They also followed us not like a Montessori learning, but a similar kind of. They do not force the kids to learn writing or some oral things, but they used to allow kids to learn on their own and all that kind of learning. But after the pandemic, hello.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can hear us. Sorry. Yeah. So after the lockdown, the school was shut for a while, and there was kind of a bit of hassle. And because me and my husband, we are full-time working, we were trying to use different aids and buying different kinds of toys for her, which we can keep her engaged and all that. So now since we have moved here, I was learning more about the Montessori learning, and I'm really finding interest in that because she doesn't show interest in writing, and I do not want to force her to write also. So I want her to always learn on her own and not to force the traditional way of learning to her. So with that, only one question that I have is, Montessori learning is good when the kids are having that setup in the school, right? You already set up a certain style and you follow that. How can we as parents, when the child is at home now, we do not see any nearing date that the schools can open. So how are you trying to achieve that during the lockdown?
So, see, for our own children who have already signed up with us long back, we are still able to do partial online program and partially supporting parents. So as you rightly said, Montessori is all about that environment which has material and a trained directress in the environment to guide children. But considering how the pandemic happened, and we knew that it might be there for this whole academic year, we have designed our own material, which is card-based, which is influenced by Montessori. It's not total Montessori because it's not a 3D material, but whatever material we could convert into card-based material, we have converted into that, and we are guiding parents to help children at home.
Okay, yes, that's a great one. Yeah, because the school currently that she's going to, they do try to, say something to the parent like we have to follow this and that for the child to learn. But it's difficult for us in that area wherein we are trying to put the material for her, and it's difficult to sometimes do the DIY work because we have to manage multiple things as well. So.
Correct.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you.
Thanks, Divya. And yeah, I realized that there are quite a few Divyas in Vihanga. That's interesting. All right. Anybody else? So with the others on call, would you like to just introduce yourself and tell us about how old is your child and anything else you would like to share? All right. Looks like you're pretty overwhelmed with what Nagendra and Z have shared. So here is what we can do. Nagendra, would you like to share your details so that parents at Vihanga can reach out to you? And I have shared Sheetal's number on the chat group, wherein you can always reach out to Sheetal for any kind of query with regard to the school or about our parenting sessions. And you have a couple of our parents in your own community who would like to support you and guide you with whatever questions you have. All right. So over to you, Nagendra.
Can you see my screen?
No.
Not yet. Okay.
Yeah, we can.
All right. So here are the contact numbers. We both the families stay inside Vihanga. please contact us if you have any questions around parenting or Montessori, or if somebody is interested to get a heads-on onto Montessori by themselves. I have tons of books with me, which I used a lot of during the early years for Aryan. So I can you can take some of my books and do some reading as well if you are interested. Even otherwise, if you have any questions about the school or with the child or with anything that you would like to discuss, feel free to reach out to these numbers on the screen.
Great. So, anything else before we close? Any other questions?
No questions really, but just a thank you for organizing this, and again, Rizi and Pawan. It was very, very useful, and hopefully, sometime in 2021, we'll have our kids physically meeting.
Sure, surely. Great.
All right.
I really appreciate each one of you to be on this call. It was Saturday morning. There were so many other things you could have done, but you chose to be here. That really means a lot. And thank you, Nagin, Shravanti, Divya, and G. It really means a lot to have parents like you who are there to support the whole community in making this choice, to help them understand about this pedagogy and to help them make a right choice. Right? This really, really means a lot. Thank you so much. Can we acknowledge everybody for participating today?
Thank you.
Thank you.